Dirk says, hey guys, I got a content piece I'm trying to rank for, a very lucrative affiliate keyword. And after publishing for a bit and building a handful of links, was at the top of page 3. After several weeks, I secured one good quality relevant niche edit off of Legit and a topically relevant link, and added internal links from other strong pages that are ranking and get regular impressions of Google. Since doing all that and letting it sit, the page has dropped off to page 10. Is it normal? Anchor texts aren't spammy, and I've been careful not to go hard on exact match anchors. Also, no PBNs or anything. Wondering what your recommendations would be. There's so many variables in that. There's just no way that I can provide like a, I can give you some things to look at, but there's no way that without me actually looking at all the data, which is, on page factors, off page factors, the type of links, the quality of the links, the relevancy, there's a lot that goes into auditing something like that to determine what the true culprit is. So all I can do is give you some kind of high level guidance on things to look for. Number one is cannibalization. Got to be very careful, guys. Some of the most recent Google core algorithm updates have been Panda refreshes, which are on-page optimization types of penalties that can occur. And I've had some of my own sites just tank in the last couple of months because of those Panda refreshes. And what I've discovered is that Google is really kind of switching back to, for a long time, and we taught this for a long time, Cubs, because it was very, very effective, but you create a silo on a site, for example, right? Top level term is the top of silo page. And then you start publishing a bunch of supporting content that is nested or placed within that category, that silo, right? So you create internal links and you're adding depth to that topic through the supporting content. You're adding depth to it, right? And then you internally link back up to that page and cross-link to other pages within that silo and all of that. And that worked for forever. For years, that was the most effective strategy. But what I found from a lot of my own kind of sites, but I had 2 of them got really hit hard, and some of the most recent algorithm updates, one that occurred in October, actually, that what happens is Google is like, there's a lot of support. If you've got a lot of content pages on the site that are targeting the same or very similar keywords, that can actually cause cannibal. Like we always think about as SEOs, cannibalization is just the exact term. Like if we've got 2 pieces of content on the same site that are optimized for the same keyword in the title tag, and the content is optimized for that same kind of keyword, now that causes cannibalization issues, which is like Google is seeing 2 different pages that are competing for Google's attention on the same site. So it just demotes both of them. Do you understand? That's what cannibalization issues are. Like, it's when you have other pages on the site that are competing for the same search query, same term. What I found was a lot of these supporting content silos that I had were actually, and this only occurred with the most recent kind of Panda refresh, which I believe occurred in October. Anyway, that basically it's now it's not just the exact match keyword that can cause cannibalization, it's variants. Do you understand? A close variant of a keyword, Google, it considers synonymous. All of those keywords, all of those variants are synonymous with that term. And what I've discovered, again, was that what used to work no longer is working. And I've actually I got hit with a couple of Panda penalties because of it. So how am I mitigating that? And that's one thing that's just one thing. I don't know that that's your problem, but you said that you have a lot of other content pages on your strong pages on your site. That could be an issue. That would be one of the first things I would look for, because if you link to from other pages on the site that may be targeting similar or very close variants of whatever your target keyword is, now you could be forcing Google to say, now, you could be confusing Google. Okay, well, which of all these pages that are all about the same kind of thing, similar thing, which one should we rank? So we don't know. We're just going to demote all of them. So anyway, I don't know that that's the case, but that's one thing I would look for, because I've seen that occur, like I said, on 2 of my own sites in the last 3 months that just tanked. So one of them I went through and I deleted all of the supporting content, like no shit. And we're talking about years of content. I went through and moved every single supporting post to trash, every one of them in the WordPress site. And so now it's just my top of silo pages. and it started to come back. It's been 3 weeks. It takes that long, which, by the way, that's something else. I gotta clarify this, guys. If you're trying to investigate an issue like this, where you did 5 or 6 different things and it tanked, you don't know which out of those 5 or 6 different things caused it to tank. Unfortunately, it did, right? It tanked, and now you've got 5 or 6 different things that you don't know was which one of those things was the cause, or which combination of those things was the cause. You have no way of knowing. So the only thing that you can do now is change or remove one of those changes, or modify it, and then you have to wait. Like, unfortunately, and Google did this intentionally. Google's no dummy. You know what I mean? Google did this intentionally. You make a significant on-page change, you got to wait 3 weeks before you can do any other changes to see what kind of an effect that change has. Because otherwise, and guys, I know how hard it is to be, because we're SEOs, we're impatient. If we make a change, we want to see the results of that change yesterday or today or tomorrow. You know what I mean? Not 3 weeks from now, because especially you got a client that's pissed because their rankings tanked, and you tell them, like, oh, I got to change one thing and wait 3 weeks and see. Like, I understand it's difficult to kind of convey to a client. I get that. But that's the nature of the game. That's why, like I said, when you make a significant on-page change, don't make 5 or 6 changes all at once. Make one and then wait. And I know that sucks. I wish we could speed up the process, but it is what it is. It's Google kind of puts that change into a probationary period. And sometimes you'll see an initial kind of movement from it, but you have to wait for that kind of probationary period to end, which is roughly 21 days. I don't know what the exact date is, but usually around 3 weeks. If you wait, then you can, it will have settled into whatever new position it is in the algorithm. I talk about this with clients oftentimes, but with link building, for example, anytime you're injecting new data into the algorithm, it's like dropping a rock into a pond or a lake, and it causes ripples in the algorithm. That's what it does. And so that's why whenever you start making on-page changes or content changes, or adding content, removing content, or adding links, pointing links to the site, or you'll start to see dancing. And it's because it's new data being injected into the algorithm. The algorithm is rippling. It doesn't know what to do. So, and you have to wait until it settles. Once it settles, then it will have kind of settled into a more permanent position based upon the new data. Then you can go in and make some additional adjustments. And I know that sucks, because it would be nice if we could go in and make 5 changes. If something didn't work, we could go in and remove one of those changes, or change it again. And, 2 or 3 days, we see a result. But Google did this intentionally, guys. And it was to prevent people like us from manipulating search, right? So, first of all, like I said, I would consider on-page, if you're talking about a site with a lot of content, the first thing I would look at is potential cannibalization or panda issues based upon what has changed recently in the algorithm. Number 2, look at your backlinks. Again, you said that you bought a couple of links that weren't spammy and everything else. I don't know. I mean, I may have a different opinion if I were to analyze those links. I don't know that. They may be perfectly relevant, perfectly fine. I don't know that, but I know that there are a lot of people that sell links that are shit links. And so that could be an issue too. But my first guess would be it's an on-page issue. Likely a panda issue, cannibalization. But again, there's just so many variables there that I can't really give you a good answer without analyzing it myself. Anyway.
First thing that I would do before I even look at that, check Google Webmaster Tools, because there might be some other issue as well.
Yeah, Search Console. You can look for a manual penalty in Search Console. Go look at manual actions and see if there's a penalty applied, but it's likely not. It's rare that I see manual action penalties anymore. They're almost all algorithmic penalties, and algorithmic penalties, there won't be notification of that.
Errors and stuff, so like
crawl errors.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, and you could look for that too. You could also use stuff like Screaming Frog or Sitebulb or some sort of site crawler, and do a technical SEO audit, determine if there's kind of any big issues, structure or internal links, things like that. But my guess is it seems to me like it's an algorithmic penalty, which is typically going to be a panda, or it could be a penguin. But from this brief amount of detail that I have here, it seems to me like it's more likely going to be a panda penalty than a penguin, which would be kind of more of a backlink issue. But again, I just can't answer that without more data.
Are you still doing audits in the mastermind?
No, but I do have an audit function on Vetted. I don't particularly like to promote that service because it really does consume a lot of my time to do an audit. But you can go to Vetted, to my profile on Vetted with 3 T's, vetted.com/Bradley Benner or whatever. Just, I'm on the first page of Vetted. Just go to Vetted if you want. If you want to, you can purchase an audit from me there. Like I said, it eats up a lot of my time to do an audit, but I could do it for you. So I don't like selling that service, but I made it available to people. So